Hey everybody, welcome to or back to Life as a Law Student. I'm Nicole and these are some more of law school's best kept secrets. If you haven't watched the video yet where I talked about the first 3 law school secrets, you can do that either by clicking right up here or the link in the description below. Number 4. The best learning environments are often the least prestigious positions. Before law school and in your summers between your years in law school, you have opportunities to pursue internships that give you a practical insight into an area of law you're interested in. These can be anything from clerking with a judge to working in a huge law firm to being in the middle of Alaska in a district attorney's office. If you're like me and came to law school knowing exactly what you wanted to do and are only in law school because you have to be there in order to do it, my advice is to take the internship that is understaffed, not paid, but extraordinarily excited to have you work there. Those are gonna be the places that are gonna give you the most work right off the bat because nobody else is there to do it. And the best way to learn isn't by spending the first half of your internship getting lectured to or watching other people do the thing. Go do the thing yourself. I would try to get into an office that is going to not only let you do that, but want and encourage you to do that because they genuinely need the extra mind and set of hands. A good way to find out if an internship is going to meet this expectation is to ask in the interview what kind of assignments interns typically get and how busy the office keeps them over the course of the summer. Number 5. Being a lawyer is about 80% writing. In college, I majored in communication, rhetoric, and culture, which is a fancy way to say public speaking. My thought process was, in order to be a prosecutor, I need to be good at 2 things. 1, the law, and 2, explaining it to other people. So I thought I would spend my time at Wheaton, my alma mater, learning how to do the second part, explaining things to other people. But what I didn't really consider was that you're usually not explaining it orally. Far more often than I expected, you are arguing in a written form. And that's not just true for criminal law, which maybe has the most oral communication out of all of the areas of litigation. In my first year of law school, we had exactly 1 assignment for all of the classes combined that required any kind of oral presentation. Everything else was written. Our exams are obviously written. Our papers are papers, not speeches. And even in a competition like moot court, which you would think would all be about speaking, the first half is just writing a 40-page brief explaining in far greater detail the exact arguments that you will later orally present. And that's very true to real life from my experience as well. I haven't experienced very many motions that weren't argued over writing first and maybe even decided entirely in writing. Many judges will say that it is the rare occasion that their mind is changed from their decision on the written format of arguments after they hear the oral version of arguments. If you're hearing all of this and feeling relieved, that's great, but keep in mind that legal writing is different than any kind of writing you have ever done. English majors actually struggle a lot in law school for the simple reason that the writing that you're taught to do your entire life is completely wrong when it comes to any kind of legal paper. And once you learn how to do legal writing, it is very hard to unlearn it and do regular writing ever again. It is dry, tedious, repetitive, but all intentionally so. I always thought that just was lawyers being bad writers, but it actually serves a very specific function in the legal system where everything needs to be detailed out because the words you used and even their grammar matters a lot. Like, it can cost a lot of money. It can cost people their lives spent behind bars. It is really important that you learn how to write well and accurately in law school because no matter what you do as a lawyer, you're going to be doing a lot of it. Number 6, graduating law school does not mean that you are guaranteed a job. far more people graduate from law school every year than there are legal jobs available. This is more true the lower in the law school rankings that you get, as well as the more competitive area of law that you get. Each school has a set of required disclosures that they post on their website every year with a large variety of statistics that could be helpful in your decision of if that school might be right for you. One of them is how many people graduate with jobs, sometimes broken down by legal jobs specifically, and also JD required versus JD preferred jobs. This does not mean by any means that going to a lower ranked school is out of the question. For example, I know somebody whose father runs a small family-owned personal injury law firm, and in order to practice law, his son, who wants to also be a lawyer, just has to get his bar license somehow in order to work with that family firm. So he chose to go to a lower ranked law school that will help accomplish that goal because he already knows he has a job waiting for him when he's done. This also could apply if you're planning to open your own practice as soon as you get out of law school. That is totally something you can do. Or of course you could just take your chances not having a job or a plan. There are still lots of people who are able to get jobs even graduating from lower ranked schools every single year, but it is something to keep in mind when you are deciding which school to go to, whether or not that school is going to set you up for success in a position that is desirable to you. Don't think that just because you've spent 3 years of your life and maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars pursuing this, that there's any kind of guarantee at the end. The simple truth is that there is not, which is super unfair, but is the way of the world. So it's something to keep in mind. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more videos about being a law student and eventually a lawyer in the future. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button and let me know. I will see you guys next Saturday with another video, and until then, God bless.